Good morning. Good morning. Pete Ward here. The Pete Ward Show, brought to you by Business and Beyond on Pete Ward TV. So how's it all going there today? I'm going live and I'm going to be talking about a couple of things today, actually. I'm going to be talking at my main subject is going to be the two values that you have, and the two values. So you have the value that you have and the value that you give. So I'm going to be talking about that, where marketing meets sales and connecting them together, bringing them all into the one place so that you can understand or help you understand what's going on today. First of all, I do have, however, a little excellent little plug here for a book, and it's called Trailblazers 2. And Trailblazers 2 is a book that I'm one of the authors in. There is quite a number of them. It's been put together by the Professional Speakers Association of New Zealand, so shout out to them as well. It will be available very, very soon, around $30, I believe. And we're having a big book launch, so if you're interested, you want to come to a book launch, get in touch with me as well. If you really do, I'd love for you to be involved. I'd love for you to get a copy of that. I'll even sign it for you. If you want to order that online when it becomes available in a couple of weeks. So that is my book. So I'm officially an author now, so that's really exciting for me. So it helps build brands. So if you're thinking about doing your own book as well, it's probably a great idea. Go and see someone who knows what they're doing. I, of course, saw Monique Bradley, who knows what she's doing, and she helped me with my chapter as well. She's fantastic. Okay, so that plug over. The other thing I'm going to be talking about is a very interesting thing. It's very, very interesting. Maybe I should tell you. Maybe I should leave it. I'll tell you. I'm going to be talking about AI, and this is going to be interesting. Monique, my producer and director today, did not know I was going to be talking about that. And the reason I'm going to be talking about it, okay, is I've been using AI for approximately 24 hours. So I'm going to start the conversation right as a noob, and I'm going to give you my first thoughts and my ideas around AI that I've already learnt from having a go. And so I suggest you do have a go. And I'm going to give you some ideas and tips around what has helped me already, because I listened to Monique, who has a series of bots that she helps people with. She's an excellent, I want to say, bot trainer. She is just excellent. She's very, very good at that. So MoniqueBradley.tv if you want to have a look and get in touch with her to find out how her AI can help you, because she has trained these things to be amazing. She's running a self-help program at the moment, believe it or not, where you can actually get in and work on your own personal journey. She's got some marketing. She's got all sorts of things. It's really worth it. So I thought, I was sitting there saying, I can't see the point. I can't see the point. But, if I want to think about something and come up with a brilliant idea, I'll do it myself. I don't need a bot to do that. I don't need AI. But so I thought, you know what? Stop being a stick in the mud, and I figured it out. I figured out my question that I had to answer for myself before I jumped into it, and I'll share that with you. I'll share that with you very, very soon. And so let's jump back to what we're going to be talking about today. So we're going to be talking about the two values. And, believe it or not, in the rushing around to get ready today, I left my printed sheet on the printer, and I'm just going to wonder if my lovely assistant, my producer today, would be able to race over there and pull that off. But basically, let's get into what they are. So there are two values that I consider when I'm working with a business, and they are the value that you have and the value that you give. And why I think these two values are extremely important. Thank you so much. Paper magically turns up. The value that you have. Let's start with that one. I'm going to call that number one, so we know what we're doing. Okay, the value that you have. This value is intrinsically linked to who you are as a person. And what this is about, okay, is there's a uniqueness about everybody. So when we're talking about marketing and sales, and we talk to people, I do, and I say we collectively, sometimes it is me and Monique working with people, often it's just myself. And I ask them and I say, what is it about you that makes you different to your competitors? It's quite a normal, standard, valid question. And the reply that I often get is that I'm customer focused, or we are customer focused, and we're tailor-made. We'll tailor-make a solution for you. And yep, absolutely. And one crowd even said, well, we've been on this massive big marketing boot camp as a team, and we came up with our tagline. We got to our why. And we said, okay, great, this is going to be amazing. Share this with us, please. And he looked at us with all seriousness, I'd like believing this, and he said, it's because we care. Now, the issue is that's not unique, obviously, because what if everyone cares, right? So if you're a mortgage broker, you're customer focused and you tailor make your solutions, right? So does the next mortgage broker, and then so does the next mortgage broker, and so on and so on and so on and so on. If everyone remembers that ad on TV, I think it was shampoo. So yeah, basically that's the thing is, you've got to take yourself on a journey with this particular value, because the value that you have is unique to you, and you need to define it and work it out and actually come up with what is going on, the essence of who you are and the why you do what you do. So the best way to do that is to look back through your life. And this is not just your business life, through your whole entire life. And so when I talk to people about what they're up to in their lives, you find all sorts of interesting things out. So one of the people I'm talking to about this is in our BNI group. And shout out to BNI. Conference coming up, you should be there. So he actually trained as a sail maker in Germany. So he's an absolutely trained sail maker. And get this, so was his father. That's incredible. So straight away, there's some uniqueness. And his father, the sail that he designed was put on one of the round the world yachts. I can't remember which one, and it went out for 3 years and it only came back with a tiny little rip in the sail. So as Sebastian learnt all of these things as an apprentice from his father, and so already there's a story, right? And then he came from Germany to Australia, and then Australia to New Zealand. And one of the things is he turned up in New Zealand with about $20 in his pocket, and within a day he basically had a place to live and he had a job. It's fantastic because he just knew how to get in and share the value that he actually had. So what you need to do is you need to work out, and I've got a little bit of a formula, so you can have a look. So we're going to talk about the value. Okay. Excellent. Okay, so the value that you have. Okay, so what we can do is who you are, okay? How you help, your target market, okay, all pretty standard stuff so far, that's okay. To do or get what, okay, based on your uniqueness, yep. And then you describe how and what they get to what outcome. Okay. And I'll give you my example. I'll give you an example from me, okay? So I started in my IT career. I started in the server room. And as I worked my way through my IT career, I ended up in the boardroom. So basically what I could say to you is my uniqueness is I have more than 25 years in IT with a background in Linux and rolling out student support services, and I ended up basically as the salesperson at the end of it in the boardroom. So what I have is I have a foot in the server room, a foot in the boardroom. As a systems thinker, I sit between both of those worlds. So you have the business case and the technical case, and you need to put them together. And that's what I do, sitting right in the middle of it based on my unique career. And I'm also a second chance learner, which means I left school with no qualifications. And so then when I went back and retrained into IT as an adult, that's something different again as well. So I didn't I didn't go to university to do that. I retrained as the adult learner, and you approach life differently as an adult learning. I know someone who's just done their masters, and they approached it completely different to how they would have done it if they had gone straight to, doing that straight from university, that kind of thing. So it really does make a difference. So what you need to do, in my opinion, is to go back through your life and start pulling out all these extra things. Like we've found amazing things about people when we start talking to them, and we're going, nobody else has ever done that before. So that forms part of the value you actually have. So when you walk into a room, you go to a networking meeting or something, you can say, hey, I whatever, I do this and this and this, and everyone goes, well, why are you so qualified to do that? Some of it's not qualifications, some of it is just because you're the first person to do it. So I'm the first person to roll out a virtual learning centre in New Zealand. So distance learning wasn't a thing here, and I rolled it out as the technical director of that project. So I'm arguably the first person to set up mixed mode distance learning in New Zealand. After that, everyone did it. That's fine, because it's not that in itself isn't unique. It's just nobody had done it before. I'm also I'm the first person who took a live stream from a very well-known sports centre and managed to restream that, adding in a studio setting on the way through to broadcast that to geo-blocked to Facebook. And that was the first time that had ever been done, so that's really cool. So there's all sorts of little things. So look for your uniqueness, that's the key, and then blend that into and understand your value. Okay, so and you got my example there. Okay, and the next one is the value, as I mentioned, that you give. Okay, now this is awesome, because what you've started with is the base value of who you are and why you are different from everybody else. You've got your story, you've got it all sorted, you know exactly who you are. So now is no good in just having all of that value if you don't give it to somebody. So this is where the exchange happens. Now, when you're giving the value to a client or a customer, this value that you give also needs to be unique. And the way you use this value as a unique way of dealing with someone is you work out the uniqueness that they get from you, right? So they get from you that they don't get from somebody else. So going back to the mortgage broker, it's not just good enough, as I said, to be tailor-made and customer-centric or customer-focused. You've got to actually define in here the value that they actually can give. And we had a wonderful, again, shout out to BNI Matt, great presentation this morning. And he was able to articulate extremely well right at the end what he does differently and how he can actually help people based on his life story. In fact, it was a really good example. He, very fit young fella with a family, had heart issues in the middle of a marathon, and so he ended up having a choppy and fixer-upper, and now he sells life insurance for people, which is incredible, because he realised that there was a bigger purpose to his life, and if he was going through that stuff, somebody else will be going through that stuff, and he wanted to help. And so being able to do that, you see what I'm saying? Straight away, there's a great example. And so now the way he deals with people in his uniqueness comes from that place of knowing the value that he has and knowing the value that he can actually give to people. So when he explains it, everyone gets it. So I've got a little bit of a formula as well here just to help you out. The formula is who you are, okay, how you help this. This is very basic. This is basic stuff, but it just gives you an idea of helping you to understand it. Okay, how you help your obviously target market. Okay, and this is the trick. What do they get, and how you provide that? Might be a service or a product. Okay, that's different from everybody else. Okay. And what I'm saying here is, okay, so maybe you're a coach. Let's pick an example. You're a coach, and one of the ways you help people is you do group sessions on Zoom. So there's a uniqueness that not everybody does. Because I talk to some coaches and they go, there's no hecking way I'd ever do a group session over Zoom, but maybe you do. So you've got a whole website set up to just deliver these virtual weekly calls, anything like that. Okay, so there's a unique value that you can give people. You can say to them, I can give you this training either at a time that suits you, or it sits there indefinitely. You can log in and you can watch it. Even if you didn't see it live, you can access it anytime, anywhere, on any device. You see how I can spin that around into going from a Zoom call into how to help somebody manage their own life. So I'm not if I was that coach, I'm not saying, come to my coaching. I'm saying, here is my coaching. Please fit it into your life. So the uniqueness of that. Okay, so you might have an online course. I know a mortgage broker who has an online course. Shout out to Rachel. And she gives first home buyers the opportunity to understand the process of it if they're not ready for that loan just yet. If they have been declined by the bank, for example, you're not ready, then she has an 8-part course of how to go and get ready. How clever is that? That's the value she's giving straight away for someone to go, okay, and she's even got a calculator in there to help you calculate all of your expenses and everything like that. So somebody can download that, watch her videos, load it all in there, come up with the answer, and then take that back to her, and then she takes that back to the bank. So they're learning as they go. She's helping them. The uniqueness of that delivery is amazing. So probably every mortgage broker is going to copy that idea. Go for your life. So here's an example with me. Okay, so I provide clarity for projects through systems thinking and strategies delivered through online courses, workshops, virtual summits, and one-on-one coaching to provide specific project outcomes. So when you work with me, you tell me, I need to achieve X, and I set up a strategy to do that. Okay, and one of the examples is that virtual summit. Well, look, I'm doing this little tutorial here. I will be running virtual summits where I may be one of the speakers, and I may have a series of other speakers, and that'll be broadcast. Some might be free, some with a ticket price. So you can access it from around the world. That's a good example of what I can do for people. And, running the project, someone says, well, I need a new website. It's a great example. And it's like, cool. You go to a web designer, and then you go to a developer over there who says, no, you need these things in it. Then you go back to the designer, and then you need hosting. So you go to someone else for the hosting, and then someone says you need SEO. And you're like, okay, well, did the other guys do that? And they go, no, we don't do SEO. So you go to an SEO person, and then you go, I need a video. So then you run off to a video guy, and he says this is the video, and then you take it back to the other guy, and they go, well, we don't put video on the website, you need to go to this other guy. You get the point. So come to me, I'll just take care of it all for you, and I'll go, I know a guy, I'll sort that out, run the project, deliver on it, and make sure it runs smoothly. So as an example, I'm your one-stop shop sitting in the middle of your project, and think of it like a circle around the project. And I showed you the circle in one of the other podcast episodes, and you can just point around the 8 different strategies which I have. So you've got content up the top, you've got customer journey over on the side, you've got branding, you've got investment, you've got promotions, you've got infrastructure, and your sales journey, and which is different to your customer journey, by the way. Sales pipeline, completely different, but very complementary. That's why they sit together. And right down the bottom is your marketplace strategy, which is how do you come across in the marketplace? How do you stand out? What is your uniqueness? Because a brand is a brand, but it reflects your messaging if you've got that right. But who are you in the marketplace is a different concept of thinking, okay, so there's 10 paint shops to go to. Which paint shop will I go and buy paint from today? Oh, Rosine. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like that fluffy dog. That was Dulux, you see. There you go. I like the fluffy dog. I'm going to go to Dulux. So the brand marketplace, that's your marketplace, your brand in action in the marketplace. So those are my 8 strategies, which I am working through on some of these podcasts as well, helping you understand that. And I hope you can get a gist of what's going on there with my little formulas and to help you out there. But coming back to it, you've got the value that you have, which is who you are and why you are actually as a person and in a business unique, and then the value that you give, which is all about how you deliver your products and services that is so different to everyone else. Great example, another example just popped to mind, Dollar Shave Club. Completely different way of doing it. A subscription shaver for $1. I don't know all the details. I'm just running off what their marketing says. You just basically, there's another one we know, more orientated towards the female stuff turning up everywhere. I think it was a shaver and a few other bits and pieces. You just go on subscription. Well, that wasn't a thing. Didn't used to be a thing. You'd go and buy it at the supermarket, and now suddenly their delivery, the value that they're giving is that it's on auto order, and it just turns up every month. You just go, I need X amount of this stuff, and boom. So straight away, they're unique in the marketplace. I mean, look, Amazon is so unique in the marketplace. Look what they actually have done to the world, the way they've changed the way we shop. Okay, so that's looking at that, the value that they have. They knew exactly the value they have and what they give to you. Temu, they do the same thing. They know exactly what they're doing. Fast, cheap, easy, boom, done. The warehouse was a great example as well. So when the warehouse came out, first started up, I don't know if it's still the same, which is what I'm saying. When it started, any power tool that you bought, it was really, really cheap. But if it crapped out on the first time you used it, you took it back and they gave you a brand new one as a replacement. You said, hey, it didn't work. And they just went, here it is, have another one. And maybe that worked, maybe it didn't. It didn't matter because that was their delivery. That was the value that you had. You knew that even in their slogan, where everyone gets a bargain. So, it's great. So it's great. So there's some examples of some brands. So how are you standing out? How are you looking at the value that you have? And how are you looking at the value that you give? Have a good think about it, because I think it's important to know those 2 questions, because especially if you go into a networking meeting, first thing they go, oh, what do you do? And then you need to be able to say, I do that. And everyone goes, well, that's really cool. So how are you different? And please don't say, are you customer focused and tailor-made solution, please? Please come up with something better than that. Okay, so that's me. I'm Pete Ward. Now I'm going to talk about something very, very interesting, of course, as I mentioned, AI. So I jumped into it, and the question that I needed to answer, it's more than just why, but it's what can it do for me that I actually can't do for myself? Because what I was seeing from a lot of AI people, and they're jumping in there and they're saying, boom, and then suddenly every single LinkedIn post looks exactly the same as the other AI-generated LinkedIn posts. Every single thing was just coming out the same. And I'm assuming, because I don't know much about that, but I'm assuming it's because people just jumped in. And when I got on there, first thing it said is, how can I help you with your marketing messages? And I could have just gone, well, I need to write a blog on, something, blah, blah, blah. And it could have spat out a blog. It's going to be the same blog everybody else gets, basically, because it's the way you actually trained them. And what I discovered and what I realized for myself is that I need that AI to know about me and who I am, and not only know who I am and about me, understand and be able to speak as if I'm speaking. So I need it to think like me, basically. So I'm feeding it as much as I can about myself. I've loaded in my website in there. Obviously, I've loaded in a few other things. I've talked about systems thinking, so I went and found the systems thinking article that I'd read where I understood that I'm very much a systems thinking mindset. And I loaded that in there so that then my AI could understand where I'm coming from. I got all of the other transcripts of my other episodes and I loaded them in so that now when I ask my AI a question, it still feels weird calling it, but working on that. I've heard actually Monique Bradley said that her AI has named itself, which is pretty cool. So that's So there you go, Skynet and all that. I was going somewhere with that. Yeah, so understanding that the AI needs to know who you are to be able to give you personalised anything back for you, so that learn to write. So feed it. So spend the first, that's what I realised, spend. And now I understand that that's what I'm getting from it, is I can just go, I can even talk to it and just go, I'm thinking blah, 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 blah. And go, and then it just goes, okay, that's really cool. Do you want me to summarise that for you? And I go, yep, so summarise that. So it summarises it, and it's starting to summarise it as if Pete had sat there and summarised it and gone through. And I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's probably what I would say. Yeah, that's what I would say. There it is. So you see what I'm saying? It's like, take the time. That's after my first day, I've ended up with take the time to get to know how it all works, and give the AI time to and information to get to know you as a business, as a person, as a communicator. That's really where I was going with that. So you are using the AI to communicate. So make sure it really is saying what you want it to say, rather than just going off and indexing heaps of other things and other people and bringing in that common knowledge and then just spitting out the same stuff. It's like, it's getting really obvious to see the stuff that's coming through and just go, yeah, I know where that's coming from. But the stuff that I've asked my AI to do in 24 hours even is actually starting to sound like me. So that's the key, I believe. And if you do need help with your AI, I seriously recommend you talk to Monique Bradley, moniquebradley.tv, as she has been doing this now for quite a long time, and she's a jolly whiz at it. So anyway, so that's me, Pete Ward. So remember, I was talking about the two values, the value that you have and the value that you give. We are there, and I had a little formula for you. So I might stick that up on my website. By the way, my website is peteward.tv. Very easy to find. I'm easy to find, Pete at peteward.tv, and I can help you with your project strategies. I can help you understand how marketing and sales get together and do magical stuff. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you all next time.